Here with Game 6. Let's get this updated. The bottom player playing light side here. Is Michael Erisman. He's playing hidden base. Michael is 4-1. And the top player is another Michael. So we'll be referring to them as by last names for this game. Is Mike French, who we've seen in an earlier featured match. We'll get to see his hairy arms for another round. Mike French is playing TTO. We did not see this matchup earlier. We saw his QMC deck, so this would be his second matchup. There are only two undefeateds at this point, Mike French and Tom Kelly, but both were light side last game and both picked up wins. So everybody's getting pared down. Michael Erisman is 4-1. Tom Kelly's playing Kyle Kruger again in that matchup, and then we'll get the pairings on some of the other 4-1 and 3-2 games. I know Ryan Jellison and Greg Shaw are both 3-2. They got paired up against each other. We'll see where some of the other games get the standings here from Chris in just a second. We have had a couple people drop, finally. Mark Sebring dropped. Dave Beer, yeah, he dropped after the last game. And I think Phil Austin also just dropped. Phil mentioned he might be stopping by to do a little extra commentary. So Michael's going to play hidden base. He's got his hidden base indicator. He's starting Walkling, a new secret base, and superficial damage. And Mike French. French started Endor operations, and he used operational as planned to get the TTO cards. He got the Death Star 2, Moff Gerard, and one effect, which is probably combat response. So we'll see that go. And with the superficial damage, that's probably some type of weapons deck. My guess would be hidden base with quad laser cannons. That's usually the most common start is with that approach. Phil, which side are you going on? You going left or right?
Whatever's good for you.
All right, well, the microphone's here, so.
Well, that probably makes this side the best side.
We'll pan out a little bit, best we can. Hey, look, everybody. It's Phil.
Hey.
Hi, Phil. Everybody wave to the world.
To the whole world.
There you go. The whole world just saw you.
Brilliant.
So.
Oh. Just gonna knock all your stuff over if that's okay.
That's fine. It's not my stuff anyway.
Oh, fair enough. I brought a mascot.
Oh, nice. Is a little mini Greedo going to come hang out?
It's Mini Greedo. That's right. It's Mini Greedo. Okay. There we go. Look at that.
Hey. Need like another table to put the camera further back so we can see everybody now.
I can go. There is another table right there. I'm just saying.
Oh, all right. Now we're just being too practical. Now we've blocked the whole hallway off.
Oh yeah, it's ours. Yeah, we're still fine for fire code. We got plenty of passage space.
Absolutely. All right, so we can move the camera back a little bit, get a wider angle.
Now, we neglected to poll the audience to see if they actually wanted to see more of us, but
we don't care. Who would not want to see these two handsome faces? I mean, really.
Truth. Very true.
So,
would you like to know a secret?
What's that?
So, I thought I was very awake Friday morning when I was packing before I came down here. And I discovered this morning that apparently I had taken all 5 of the t-shirts I brought with me to the side of the state and put them neatly in the bag of things I was not bringing on the train. So, showering and good hygiene are so far winning the day. But
so you've got one shirt to wear for the whole weekend?
This is it. I've got my threadless Star Fox.
to see what we can find you lying around the homeless shelter down the street. No, I'm just
There
kidding.
we go. So yes, in the spirit of magnanimity, I decided to drop and participate in this commentary. It had nothing to do with my less than stellar performance on the day.
Right.
Nothing at all.
No,
Nothing
yeah.
at all.
You felt
No.
bad for me sitting here by myself all day.
I know. I was.
So you came over to do a little.
I was undefeated. I was in pole position for the lowest record, I think. So
There's one person who has not won a game yet. He's 0-5. So you possibly just gave him a bye and a free win.
okay,
So
there you go. I just do.
I don't think
do
that
my part.
I don't think that counts, but yeah. So
Do you suppose we should talk about what they're actually doing on the screen?
the game at hand right now they're really just not doing too much. I mean, he's done the TTO. Mike French did the TTO setup turn 1. He deployed Moff Gerard to the bunker, used Endor shield to pull Admiral Ozzel, and got his first sector out. Now he's going to pull a ship with short range fighters combo. Michael Erisman's going through his deck. He's going to find a system, and then he'll use a new seeker base shortly to pull a second system out.
Mike French, why'd you put Admiral Ozzel down? If he has spies and quads, he deserves to kill Jared.
Better safe than sorry, I guess. You know, when you're 5-0, you don't really want to start losing games because of random fluke blowouts. And, you know, it could be like a Bosch and an EPP or something. I mean, he's not deploying them turn 1 for 5 force.
No, probably not.
But I guess at some point in time, I think we'll see Gerard move out to the docking bay with Ozzel and try and hold that down for a few turns.
Yeah, so Mike French was asking me what to do in this matchup, and
What advice did you give him?
don't let your ships get shot.
That's good advice.
That's basically it. As long as he can keep TTO damage in effect and not have all his spaceships in his lost pile, I think he's in pretty solid shape.
It should be in pretty good shape with that. It's going to come down to, you know, the key light side interrupts being on target to stop him from moving away, and you know, things like stay sharp, whatever, firing weapons and picking off people.
Oh, you know what's going to get really interesting, actually? Is I bet Mike's going to start shooting some people himself, because he's probably going to set up Meanda in the gun and just...
That's the other side of it. Yeah, he'll
taking
definitely...
pot shots.
It's going to come down to... The game might very well be decided by people picking off people either in battle and hit and run, moving away to cancel the battle afterwards or end the battle, or Meanda, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the biggest differentiators are that Mike French will be draining for free, or should be most of the game, as opposed to Erisman having to pay for it. And unless he's running Hark Seth, Mike French should have a significant activation advantage. I mean, he'll probably get over 20 in mid-game.
Probably with the 5 or 6 systems that Mike Erisman's going to put out. It should be a pretty big activation. There goes the second sector now for French. Getting closer. Oh, he's got the third sector already
there we go.
too.
That's the style.
So now we'll see if he can pull TTO from the reserve deck, unless he's got that already in his hand as well. And we're going to get a turn 2 setup and Death Star up and running. Don't know if French has a super laser in his deck. There's the TTO that he just pulled. He might have a super laser in his deck. I'm not sure if he's playing that, but that can also pretty much auto hit every capital starship that Mike's going to put down.
He does not have a super laser in his deck.
Okay.
But Mike Erisman doesn't know that.
He'll
probably figure it out
because he's not listening to the podcast. But yeah, he does not know
sneaky.
that. Yeah. French is going to reveal with combat response and get Vader's custom tie, our Vader's shuttle there with Darth Vader, and we'll see probably them go to the nearest system, Anoa, which is at 5, and then see the Death Star 2 move over there. Vader's tough to shoot too, because he can subtract 2 from the weapon destiny.
Yeah, and I mean, Mike's probably got a close call. He's probably got a couple dark times.
I don't know if he plays the dark maneuvers or not, but
I don't think so.
Probably
you don't
not.
usually see that in TTO, not so much. Maybe you have one.
yeah,
It's not a big need.
it's an ML card.
Oh, and the quintessential TTO card, the Hyper Out Navigation Chart,
Uh-oh.
has made its first appearance.
And now he knows where the Death Star's moving to. Most people just move the TTO to the system that the Death Star's at, but certainly
There we go. It moves out.
moves out to the docking bay to satisfy the battle order. Yeah, especially if he's figuring that this is quads. Quads runs very few characters. It's usually just like a Luke Skywalker and like a Baragwin or 2, or like a Major Hosh and some of the gunners to help shoot. But none of those guys are really going to do a whole lot on the ground. At best case scenario, they draw Battle Destiny and they kill Gergerod, and then Ozil's still there, and
like the crap kicked out of my PP Maul.
Yeah.
It's usually not a winning strategy.
and somebody else. Yeah,
Can you tell what those systems are? So there's 4. It looks like Corellia, Kifex. I refuse to believe that's Wraithel, but it looks like Wraithel.
It's a virtual system. Looks like he's. I don't know if he's got a different card under Narshada, or if that was Mon Calamari or something, and they're just out of order.
Oh, Mon Calamari. I don't know. There's Anawet, but yeah, what system is that?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like he's just drawing cards, which makes sense.
He's drawing a pile of cards now. He needs to get a hand. He needs to.
Well, he's not activating that much. I mean, 'cause now he's up to what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I assume he's up to 12, but that's not that much.
It's not a whole lot. And after that's after spending 2 this turn. I mean, he was only getting 9 this turn. He had to deploy 2 systems, and he had to spend 2 to get one of the systems. So he hasn't had much force to work with yet. But now Mike's going to start. French is going to start doing some damage and some draining and stuff.
Since he doesn't have 5 systems out, he probably has to draw there, because otherwise,
yeah.
I mean, if he takes 5 damage here,
2, 3, 4, 5.
If he top decks the system, I mean, that's just. Yes, there's 1, 2.
2 Admiral's Orders. Go. That could also come into play later in the game.
That's fascinating. He just picks both of them that fast.
Well, he's got a third one in his hand, but it could come into play certainly with
Impressive, most impressive. What?
Take the first weapons phase action.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's right.
So you make sure you shoot their ship before they shoot you.
That's a very good card.
And
I was like, how many battles does he initiate with Jedi exactly?
Mm-hmm.
It's canceling all too easy. That's why I put that card in there. You always need to cancel all too easy.
He top decks 2, and there goes a Corellian Corvette and the Strike Force Grabber. Yeah, I would have to say if the TTO player can keep his ships alive, either using things like barrier or just Michael missing a weapon destiny draw or 2, that the TTO deck would be favored in this. But if
the TTO space package is similar to the Naboo CRV deck with Decree from a couple years ago that we ran at Worlds, and it was the same thing. I mean, I played a couple of HB decks, and it was the same story every time. Just you have enough ways to subtract that they might get a hit on one of your ships, but they can't hit them all.
They can't hit them all, keep you out of space all game. And if you get 2 or 3 together at a system and just kind of stack it and make it even harder for them to engage you there.
Now, if you didn't know, the trick to doing well at the Endor Grand Prix actually is just to share a room with me. Because you know what, I took the hit for the team, and I've just been taking all the losses as the sacrificial lamb, so that the rest of the team could be doing well. Because let's see, Kyle's 4-1 going into Game 6. That is. Mike's 5-0. Tom Kelly is 5-0, and then Lenny is at 3-2 with one of those losses being to me.
Right.
So I mean,
that was your only win.
Yeah.
All right, so Erisman's going to deploy his first Corvette going after Vader. We're going to see if we're going to get a barrier here. Yep, there's the barrier from French. Again, trying to keep...
That's awesome. I was about to be like, he doesn't play barriers, but I was actually wrong, because I remember he does have a barrier in there. And I should know, this is the deck I played yesterday at the team tournament.
Okay.
So, and like, this is the exact physical deck. I just took Mike's dark deck and played it. So
Erisman's going to drop... Honor of the Jedi down. That might help offset some of the damage if French can't get to a third battleground or get no escape out. And we're going to get a Luke as a pilot now. I'll let him start retrieving some force. Maybe a DAC or somebody as a gunner. Nope, there's a quad laser cannon. He does not have Corellian Engineering Corporation out yet, though.
Is that it? Looks like it was third card in his hand, though. Couldn't tell for sure.
He's going to put the Admiral's Order out, which will at least let him draw a Destiny. It only subtracts from the immunity of, or the armor of Capital, so
But he doesn't really want to fight there unless he has a hit and run. Now, if he's hit and run, they can go for it.
Right. Well, the ship got barriered, so
that's true. Yeah, so he can't even fight.
he's not battling this turn anyway. But maybe, yeah. And at this point, if you're Mike French,
you got to play weapons display or firepower. Excuse me. I know which side it is.
yeah, well, you're almost more inclined. You know, just after Erisman deploys everything, just take your damage or TTO and then move the whole thing away.
Yeah.
There's no point to battling Luke and leave him behind and let him drain for one and know it. You're playing for board position at this point, and
well, as you noted, there's no Corellian Engineering Corporation, which means he's not going to hit with a quad shot. I mean, if he steady aimed +4, that's still. I think it'd still be drawing straight up, right?
he's going to flip. He's got 5 systems out because Kessel's down over there as well. So he's going to flip, so he's going to cancel that. You can only cancel for ones you control, so I think he still has to lose one at the docking bay.
No, he's just trying to make it hard for Mike to draw cards.
Yeah.
He's trying to choke him here, but early the flip, I think, is really, really. It's kind of risky because, like with quads, on the one hand, you want to be flipped so that you can not take damage, and at the same time,
they're just gonna start probing.
If they have space, yeah. I mean, flipping usually you buy yourself at most 3 rounds before your objective's gone, and then no drain canceling, no choking, no anything.
Right. Erisman did save a bunch of force though, so he could have the on target to keep Mike from moving, to keep French from moving away. That's another possibility. Get Vader stranded there, and then pick him off in the control phase with like a stay sharp or something.
That could be. Force push.
Always a good card.
That is a way to get around your draw limits. And we'll see how some of the other games are going during the back.
Okay. We're getting a look at Mike French's deck here. So he's thumbing through it. Some key cards there. Sense will obviously come in handy at some point in time. There's the we shall double our efforts to increase the force damage. It looks like he took Baron.
So that is Narshada.
Okay.
But it's not the regular Narshada.
He also have the wrong card underneath his V-slip.
Oh, there he goes. Now he's got the Baron.
Yep, he pulled the Baron with the force push.
Oh, did he show the camera?
Yeah.
Was able to see it.
I was kind of able to see it as he was
and
doing it.
black too.
And black too. So that's going to be
I wonder who's piloting it. It'd be more because there's no DS612 in the deck.
Gotcha. Just voting for the ship for the game text.
Yep. I mean, it's a great place to park the Moth in a lot of matchups.
I was going to say, is there a Tarkin in the deck? Because that could be Tarkin.
Oh, does Mike have a get combo? It'd be so hot. Doesn't look like it. And he didn't play weapons display in time. Yeah. Oh, firepower. Why do I keep saying weapons display?
So he's going to on target.
That was the hyper escape and off he runs.
That was a weird situation because he played the hyper escape to cancel the battle, but he played on target first. That doesn't seem to make much sense at all.
He on target so he couldn't be chased.
Right, but the hyper escape is a and the on target isn't.
My guess it was one of those, I wanted to do this before you battled,
okay.
And Mike was being a good sport about it.
Gotcha. So there's the hyperscape. Okay, so they just went back and changed the order.
Looks like it.
Yeah, but on target only targets one ship. So I guess he targeted Vader to keep Vader from moving away.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see if Mike wants to grab either of those cards. Doesn't look like it. That's fine. I think Mike will be content for now just to stack one system. You know, CTO damage is going to get mitigated with Honor out, so he's not really doing any damage there. But I think he can get to a third battleground fairly soon.
Yeah, we're just fine to see no escape. But it will be harder to dig with the...
With the objective flipped, yeah.
But still, I mean, Mike, like, how much is he activating right now? It's going to be 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 force. I mean, that's a decent amount of force.
I think that you can find plenty of ways to spend that.
Probably.
He's going to spend 2 force and move some stuff. 3. What's he spending 3 force for? 4 force. 5. Oh, he's paying a draw. Duh. That's what we can't see. We can't see his force pile. So he's paying a draw because Erisman's flipped. So
yeah. Oh, and he didn't probe Analet either. Which is kind of interesting.
I guess he feels pretty confident that Erisman wouldn't have flipped with him sitting there with multiple ships.
Could have been the double blind.
I talked about that in an earlier matchup as to when we saw Matt Thornton playing Jerry, and
There's the presence of greatness.
it was hidden base against entanglements, and the hidden base deck was playing Tatooine as one of their systems, and joking whether Tatooine, would have been his hidden base marker just to, try and completely mess with his opponent. It was like, but there's no reason not to just throw a card there just in case.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, Rebel Artillery. That's kind of annoying.
And that's the one that's going to get grabbed. Yeah.
Well, the presence of greatness comment is because Chris Schoenthal himself is in attendance, directing the tournament with skill and aplomb.
It's that guy with that beard again. Yeah. As my wife calls him.
Hi, everybody.
All right, so Erisman's got, he retrieved 1 with Luke. Secret Plans is out, not Coward, so he retrieved 1, or will retrieve 1. And Erisman's got a pile of cards in hand, but
I think he just drew an HCF.
yeah, looks like it's a pile of red cards though. So he doesn't, for a deck that plays 8 to 10 ships, he does not have a lot of any ships in his hand other than the Han Chewie Falcon, and still no Corellian Engineering Corps. So I don't know if it's just been avoiding him, stuck in his force pile somewhere.
Yeah, but did he top deck it to TTO that turn when he took 5 damage? Maybe.
I don't remember seeing it go
I
off
didn't
the
think
top,
so.
but. Erisman looks stuck. He's trying to figure out what he can possibly do, but he doesn't seem to be happy with any of it.
It's a very interesting situation. Yeah, it looks like he's just got red.
Right.
Which is just unfortunate.
Yep. It's all clumped up. It's not working the way it's supposed to, and
But at the same time, he's not under any imminent threat unless Mike can deal with Honor of the Jedi.
right.
Excuse me.
So he certainly has. He can buy himself some time, but now he's got to start getting into a situation where he's going to start drawing all those starships for Destiny, and this is where the theory crafting comes in between the 2 variations of this deck, between the Corellian Corvettes and the medium bulk freighters, because the Corvettes are Destiny 1 and the freighters are Destiny 3.
True.
So both ships are capable of using the quad laser cannons, and the corvettes are higher deploy, higher forfeit, higher power, so they can certainly stand up longer on their own. But the medium bulk freighters are cheaper, a little bit better hyperspeed, I think, and the higher destiny number.
So I think the play for Mike here is just start moving around his ships in mass with the Death Star, and start probing the systems. Like maybe this turn you just probe one, and then probe one on Mike's turn, and wherever you end up.
Right.
Probably Kifex. And then the next turn you can probably get the rest of the systems covered, get his objective going, and then you're able to do what you need to do.
And that's certainly got to be a concern for Mike French. Oh, he's got a Zuckuss now, so he'll drop Zuckuss down and probably probe Kifex, and then possibly, like you just said, slide everything around. Now he's got the third battleground that he needs to get around Honor, and certainly a possibility. But what Mike French has to be concerned about is Michael Erisman's got a dozen cards in his hand right now, so in a deck that plays 10 plus ships with lots of weapons, that Zuckuss may not be long for this world. But we, as the audience, happen to know that Erisman does not really have anything that's going to work against that.
Yeah, and Zuckuss right here, I think that's just a great card for Mike to find, because he can float around by himself. He's not going to get blown out. That's the thing, is that the quads deck isn't going to blow anybody out with power.
Right. You just slowly, it's a game of attrition. You slowly just eliminate all their ships, and then it's 1-1-1 or 2, and you get the Kessel and 2-3, 2-3 between Kifex and Kessel. It looks like he was about to deploy Bosk. First, he's going to probe a Noet before he wastes any more time. Okay, it wasn't a Noet like we suspected. So now he's going to deploy Bosk and the Houndstooth to Corellia, and he'll probably probe that system as well. And then you'll probably see him shuffle a whole bunch of people around, probably move the Death Star to Kessel, move some of those guys from a Noat to Kessel. But my money right now is on Nar Shaddaa. That's where Luke ran to, which means that's probably the hidden base.
Well, the objective still appears to be in play.
Yeah, it's Nar Shaddaa. He wants French to move over there. Maybe French just moves the Death Star to Nar Shaddaa and moves that pile of Vader and stuff, and some of those guys over, or just it's gonna consolidate them at Kifex.
I mean, if he just consolidates, now that forces Erisman to respond.
Right. That's the thing. Vader can't move. He's still stuck with the on target, right? Because that's until end of next turn.
I think it's till end of. I don't think it's the Clash of Sabers style where it's that long, is it?
I guess we'll have to double check.
Can you bring up the magic card? I see the Boba Fett. Yeah. That Boba Fett is sweet, by the way.
Yeah, that Boba Fett's been the most popular card thus far. Problem is that these card images are a little blurry.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The people watching at home can see it, but us here for some reason can't.
Fascinating. Well,
so that's usually when we pull out the phones. And
I know. It's like that's gonna be next.
Search special edition. Erisman's going to spend some force here. Yeah, looks like, French moved that whole pile to Kessel and moved the Death Star, I think, over there as well. There's Corellian Engineering Corp finally, which French is going to have to read because I don't know that he knows what that card does.
I'm sure he doesn't.
But, and here comes Han, Chewie, and the Falcon to Kifex.
Yeah, we're just going to hope that there's actually another ship following it up, though it can use the cannons. which is
Yes,
pretty
he can.
cool.
And he's going to put the cannons on it, so maybe he's going to hit Zuckuss and possibly power pivot or something to get it out of the battle.
Now, hopefully Mike's paying attention here and does not let him reduce the Houndstooth's defense value, because the Falcon, while awesome, is not a capital and cannot do that with taking them with us.
That is a valuable tip, because the Admiral's Order does do that. Here, lets you reduce the armor by 4, and he draws a 4 for Weapon Destiny, adding
3.
yeah.
I think the quads are like +1.
Yeah. And so Zuckuss is hit, and here comes the power pivot, which Mike is then going to read again. Does he have the sense? I don't think he has the sense. Yeah.
Oh no, the on target is it's Clash of Sabers in space. Clash of Cannons.
Yeah. Oh, and Mike's going to play a slight weapons malfunction now to add a Battle Destiny. I don't think... As if you just fired a weapon right now, if you just fired a blaster,
Yeah.
so...
Now, Boskin Bust has huge forfeit, though.
It does. I don't think he's going to get any overflow, but he's going to definitely get him off the system. And French did not probe Kessel. I don't know if he knows he can probe on each deploy phase.
You know, that is a valid point. I
might
just point out, Mike French is 5-0 and went 3-1 in the team tournament yesterday, despite not having played Star Wars other than Thursday night in a significant amount of time.
So, and now he's going to get out of commission to make one of those cards go out of play to keep him from retrieving or deploying multiples.
Oh no, he'll never survive without
Getting that Bosk back, yeah. I'm sure he's heartbroken over that. Let's see which card he pulls. Hey, look, it's the Houndstooth. Do you know who that guy was who just wandered down the hallway?
I didn't even see him, actually. I was busy staring at the screen.
He's come into the game room a couple times and just been hanging out, like reading a book and stuff. I assume he's somebody's friend, but...
He hasn't said we're playing Star Wars, so
That,
there is that. Yeah. Has there been a Max Rebo floating around? Because I haven't seen or heard of one.
no Max Rebo settings so far this
I
weekend.
think we should just stick one into, like, Jan's burrito or something, just for good measure.
Yep. Now Mike's going to probe Kessel, and it's clearly not Kessel. Oh, here comes Maul and the Infiltrator.
Oh, it's a great choice for that system. Well, I wonder what happens if he probes that system. Yeah, Jan targets.
Yep.
Now...
Target to keep him from moving away, but it won't stop him from cloaking.
Does he even bother cloaking?
He may, because he may want to keep the third battleground to get around honor still. So now he's going to reveal that that was the hidden base that he wrote down.
It looks like an escape pod, actually.
Yeah, it looks like he just has a piece of paper that he just wrote down
I mean, you have
which system he used.
more storied history in the game than myself. Have there been any legendary moments when somebody misremembered which their indicator was and actually had already had it probed for like 2 turns?
I don't recall the specific game, but there were, in the Decipher era, there were times where, people would have their hidden base probed and wouldn't acknowledge it. And, a couple people after the game they were like, oh, what was your hidden base, by the way? And they'd show them and it'd be like, oh, it's this one. And like, I probed that one. It's like, no, you didn't. And it became a whole thing. And
Oh, no.
I believe people did get game losses for, technically it's cheating. Yeah.
Oh, it's totally cheating.
It's absolutely cheating.
Like, you could do it on accident, you could do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm. So I always make a point of it when the game's over, my opponent's like, oh, I win or whatever like that. If I'm playing against hidden base and I didn't probe it, I'm like, good, show me your hidden base indicator now. Because if they show me something I already probed, that's it. That's game over. You lost. Too bad, so sad.
So this is interesting. So he just moved Vader and ship over to Narshada. Now...
Yeah, I thought he might have cloaked there just to get the third battleground.
I mean, he might be worried about him getting shot, but putting a second ship there doesn't do much because he can shoot one and then shoot the other. I mean, really, your best bet is just not to be at the same system as the quads.
Right.
Oh, and
I mean, Maul was on-targeted, so he wasn't going to be able to
Yeah.
leave and go anywhere. But,
I mean, especially with HCF on table, it's not like he was going to get beat down.
Right.
Now, Mike's not playing Fet Bounty Hunter. Fet Bounty Hunter is awesome in these situations when you're running from on target because you put him in a ship and you move the other ship first. On target, you send him used. No harm, no foul.
No, I think the slave one with the new Boba Fett has kind of been the new money card of the weekend. That's everybody
I
seems to
don't
be
think
using.
they're even playing him in the stack, honestly, which they need to, probably. But, I mean, it already has, like, really good ships. I mean, it just seems like you should play it, and yet I'm not sure what you cut for it.
And
It's really
It's kind of, that's the thing. Do you go up to like a 6 matching ship combo, or yeah, I'll cut the black 2 because I can just put Jar Jar Rod. But I mean, you want black 2 for the game text of the all wings. I mean, you don't cut Baron, you don't cut Vader, you don't cut Maul.
The Hound's Tooth. You could cut the Hound's. Actually, what you can do is cut the Hound's Tooth, and play 1 or 2 Imperial Commands. Because you can also use the Fett switch to get that with Ozzel and
Right.
do the 3 Destiny beat for 6 Force, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's just.
I'm surprised
crazy.
that got through playtesting, in all honesty.
Well,
Not to indict those who are in playtesting, I'm just it seemed strong.
it's certainly been the common theme that I've heard this weekend so far, and maybe that'll be something that people we keep an eye on for a little while and possibly gets changed in the future. But yeah, Boba Fett using his game text in an offensive battle seems to be a little different than may have been intended.
Yeah. Now, Wirfs and I were playing a fun game yesterday. Just he was playing Diplo, and I was playing the Endor Ops first turn blowout. So I got the Fett Ozzel
In command,
in
yeah.
command turn 1, and I lateral damage, and drew Darth Sidious, Darth Maul with lightsaber, and Gick, which takes some work.
Yeah, that's impressive for 3 battle destiny.
It
for
really
a total
was.
of
I
3.
did 5 damage. I want to say something like that. It was not nearly as much as I've been hoping for. The next battle, I proceeded to draw Darth Maul with lightsaber again, and then Count Dooku. Not short range to ruin my streak.
I think that kind of might have. I mean, you were saying yesterday that might set the tone for the weekend, and you're wondering whether or not it would be. But
With the hiatus of the team tournament, when I played Mike's deck, I think the answer was I just shouldn't play decks that I built.
there you go.
Usually my motto is just play what Joe Olsen tells me to play, but he wasn't here, so I had to call an audible. And you know what?
It's all Joe Olsen's fault.
It really is.
It's really what it comes down to.
Pretty much.
It's always Joe Olsen's fault.
It does seem to be. That's what he gets for not being here. It's tragic.
So it looks like Mike tried to use Stay Sharp to fire his cannon to try and pick off Vader, and it looks like that got reduced.
Yeah, Ray. I thought Ray was a Destiny.
Oh, no, Ray's on there with him. He drew Yoda for Destiny.
Oh.
Which Mike, I think, then played a Dark Time to reduce. And there's a Spiral for Battle Destiny. Again, all the characters and ships seem to be.
Wow, these guys are drawing
yeah.
high Destinies here.
Yep. Oh, Vader and Maul. Oh, that's not Maul. That's somebody else in Maul's ship. That's why he didn't cloak. Okay, that was.
Well, there we go.
That's a different character, so you can't see the character under the ship.
You can't do that to the commentators. I mean, we had to assume that was Maul.
Right.
What I just pay attention, look at details. It's commentary.
Erisman's going to move his lone Corvette over to Kessel to block that train, but it's not going to block the TTO damage.
Hopefully
And,
Mike puts out firepower at some point. That would be...
I believe he did play it.
Oh, good. I was like, because I can't see it on the screen.
I think, yeah, it's a little narrow.
Oh, now, to make things even more interesting, I do need to go check on Lenny's game, because if Lenny wins, he'll be 4-2. I think Tom and Kyle are both 5-1, and Mike is at worst 5-1. And the 5 of us are in a room. The reason this is relevant is we declared this morning that anyone who made day 2 got to sleep in bed.
Oh,
And
so you're sleeping
I
on the
may
floor.
I may be the odd man out here. It's not looking good.
Yeah. Does your room at least have like an easy chair? You can push 2 chairs together and.
I'll just go sleep by the window. It'll be fine. I don't think I'd fit on 2 easy chairs.
I was gonna say you could always pull a Brian Hunter and just sleep under a table in the game room all night. And
But then I have to win. The homeless guy has to win. Maybe it'd work for the consolation tournament. I haven't thought about that.
you could win the consolation tournament tomorrow, and yeah.
Tragically, I can't pull a Gogolin by getting cash in the top 8 and then winning the consolation tournament. I only get one half of the equation.
Well, see, that's also Joe Olsen's fault. So
Again,
sometimes it works out to your benefit.
in
So
Star Wars, there's themes.
well, here Joe's pretty good with with managing finances. So there's some direct damage coming now from French. He got the drain at the docking bay. Did some TTO damage. Erisman's going to lose a rebel artillery, which has already been grabbed. There goes Strike Force again, which I think he retrieved previously with Luke. I see a Black Sun fleet in Mike's hand, so question as to whether or not he may want to replace the Admiral's order and then try and beat up that Corvette, since the Corvette won't get a Battle Destiny.
That's true.
He's also got a control set for stun in his hand. He could use that possibly to on that Corvette that has Luke on it, but that doesn't have a gun in front of Vader. If he knows what his destiny draw is there, he can either put Luke or Rey back in Erisman's hand and then battle the ship and try and clear the rest. I'd probably put Rey because of the +1.
Yeah, he'd need to add another destiny to make it work.
But
I guess he had Tarkin. I think they play Tarkin. Don't remember for sure.
But the battle at Kessel is probably the more appealing option for Mike French right now.
It's risky play though, because say he battles, gets one of his ship shot, and then hit and run. I guess he loses the 2 force, but you lose a ship.
Right.
Yes. Staying alive is the most important thing at this point. As long as stay alive and do consistent damage.
Right. He's probed the hidden base. Oh, there's Maul.
Oh, there we go.
So with no cannon at that Narshada drain, at that Narshada system there, that seems to be what French has opted to, because so many of the light side interrupts, they all trigger off having a weapon. So
Yeah, if he can keep Black Sun Fleet on the table, then he can start forcing more damage through, because he can move them all around. And get drains in with that way.
you're not sick, are you?
No, it's because of moving. It's kicking up all the dust. So
So we're
I just
blaming
sound like I've
allergies.
been smoking for 20 years.
Okay, we're blaming
I'm
allergies.
dying.
Yeah.
But no, neither is the case.
Okay. So French is going to battle. Oh, he's going to get a rapid fire, which is going to get a weapon out of the reserve deck.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, French didn't see that one coming. This is what happens when you haven't played Star Wars cards in several years. You forget about things like rapid fire.
I always think about rapid fire. It's the first card. Like, it doesn't matter. They can be playing Profit, and I'm like, rapid fire. I'm watching for it.
He'll take a shot. That's a 4 for slight weapons malfunction.
4 + 2 + 1, that's a 7. Subtracts 2, that's a miss. Unless Rey randomly adds 2 weapon destinies.
She does not.
That would be.
So he would have to use...
That'd be good.
They're doing the math right now. He would have to use Vader's ability to subtract from that
Yeah.
to make it a miss.
Yeah, it looks like they figured it out.
But he won't be able to subtract from his battle destiny now, so if he's got a 5 or something behind it,
I think you take your odds with that against the Corvettes.
I would too. The guns are 4s, and there's
That's a 4.
That's a scythe.
And
And
that's we wish to board it once.
that was the 5, so that's either
That's a
going to
5.
get rid of Vader or Maul. Not really getting any extra battle damage here. They're both pretty even in power.
So to clarify my advice to Mike French, when I said don't let your ships get shot, what I meant was don't lose your ships.
So there goes Maul.
He's probably got another Maul, but maybe not in hand.
Right. And it's going to get Rey for attrition for light side. Oh, now he's going to lose Luke because he's got a second Luke in his hand. We saw that earlier. It's the back card. They're both white border. That's cool.
White border Lukes? No. Now if it was Japanese Lukes, that would be cool.
Japanese foil Lukes?
No, non-foil.
Oh, okay.
Like just straight Japanese Lukes would be awesome.
Vader's going to move away. Vader's going to Kessel to join the party. And
looks like
is that Baron? Yeah, Baron's going to go to a note.
he's just gonna hope he doesn't have. He's only got I guess Erisman's hand is 6 cards, so you made the point where you just go ahead and
Right.
try and force him to have something, because he really does have to stay on 3.
He's got to stay on 3 to keep the damage going. Otherwise, he's not really doing much of anything at all.
Yeah.
But he didn't replace the Admiral's Order, which, I mean, again, I don't know.
He may just not want to give him the 6 to track,
Yeah,
because
I don't know that
6s are hard to dodge. when it
Oh,
comes-
they're certainly for a weapon situation, and he may be waiting for a better time later, especially because he had to lose them all there.
Yeah. Now, if he had a close call in hand, what I would do actually is go ahead and give him the 6 with the Admiral's Order,
And make him redraw it.
make him redraw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like he'll pay 3 and drain for 2 over at Kifix. And I guess he's just going to draw some cards.
And I think he drew that with a new secret base.
Oh, yes.
for
yes.
draining.
That's reserve deck, yep.
Now, because he has to pay for battle plan to drain, and he has to pay upkeep on the Falcon.
Is
So-
that... I think that's the V Falcon.
Oh,
Hanshui
the V
Falcon. I think it's Hanshui
No, I
Falcon
thought he drew
V.
3 Destiny, didn't he?
I don't think he did before.
Did he just draw 2 Destiny? I thought he drew 3.
Oh, well, there comes a Tanev with a gun and a Luke.
What is happening with the camera?
It happens every once in a while. It's kind of strobe mode.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes when people put their hand, when they move their hands kind of fast, it has trouble trying to focus on
Oh.
something that's dead center.
So, all right, can you please explain to me how this is Joe Olsen's fault? Because clearly it is, based on the theme of the game. But
If Joe was here, we could send Joe in there to fix the camera.
he'd probably know how to fix it too.
So there's a shot at Baron. That's a 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to hit Saber 1.
Let's see, it's a close call. Nope, no close call.
And there's a power pivot to make Saber 1 immediately lost. And light side is slowly but surely gaining board control and board
Yeah.
position. French is now back down to 2 battlegrounds. Not going to be doing the TTO damage.
Yeah, the timing on the Honor of the Jedi was huge. He pulled that off.
Definitely.
I think that probably single-handedly swung this game.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Erisman's still got... I mean, he has a tiny hand, 3 cards in hand?
He's got
but-
3 cards in hand and like 1 left in.
So it
force pile
definitely
there.
isn't the maintenance Falcon.
No, but he's got.
He looks like he's still got a decent amount of force.
Yeah, he couldn't activate. I mean, he was activating like 14 or 15, and he couldn't get all the way through his deck. So he's got about 20 cards left, and Luke's going to slowly keep retrieving 1 a turn to offset that drain of 1 at the docking bay.
Yeah.
So now it's just going down to, what else does Mike French have?
Well, if he replaces the Admiral's Order this turn, and then he battles the Corvette at Kessel, at the very least, there's going to be some weapons display, some firepower action. I think the camera has a heartbeat.
It's nervous. I'm going to play 4 Lom to try and cycle some cards. I guess he's hoping to find something better.
Maybe he can use Tarkin's Chaos to cancel the drain of the system when he controls the related site.
No, that's not a card.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Don't confuse people, Phil. You're going to just making stuff up.
It's so much more fun to make stuff up. I mean, can he Grimtash the board?
And no, that doesn't work either. Let's check the Twitch room, make sure if people are still yelling at me. Well, it's really just Jim Lee.
Jim Lee would yell at people, though.
Ah,
But he'd be very, nice about it.
I can't wait for Worlds in Minnesota so I can beat Jim Lee some more.
Fair enough.
It's way too much fun.
I might even have to go to Minnesota with that. Yeah, I'm actually in the process of moving to this side of the state, so I might be able to, fly to Worlds without needing to take, 4 vacation days to make that happen.
There you go.
Which would be nice. And I might be able to qualify before I show up. Should also be a huge
That
change.
also helps.
Though not by going 1 and 4. I'll need the team tournament performance, not the main day
Right.
performance.
Well, just have Mike French build you a deck and you'll be good.
There we go. New motto. Just play Mike French's deck.
I don't think it's ever been anyone's motto, but you know what? If it works for Phil,
It is now, apparently.
yeah, that's
Sorry, Joe. You've been replaced.
This is 2017.
Deck out for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You can talk to Greedo.
So you and Tom just chop it and go eat both?
I wanted to play.
Because you're both 5-1, right? So.
It makes sense. I probably would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah, because I mean 5-1, you both have great strength of schedule. You're basically
I
both.
feel weird about it though.
Kyle Kruger stopping by just to catch up with Phil. Kyle was victorious in his match over Tom, so they are both 5-1 now. So Mike French is the only remaining undefeated player, and depending how this game goes, and is looking right now, it's going to be a little more challenging.
So yeah, I had time to kill, so somehow I ended up at the liquor store and I got a half-gallon of vodka, and now my team's tournament glass.
Oh, nice! Using
vodka
your
on the rocks.
using your official team tournament victory mug. That was Tarkin he put down, so he drew 2 Battle Destiny. He drew a 7 and a close call, so he's got 9.
That may have just swung. Well, I mean, Erisman had a huge piece, but as long as Mike didn't lose the ship.
And there goes Tarkin. So Vader's still going to be alive. But the gun will go used. The Corvette will be lost. I don't think he's going to get any overflow out of that battle, though. I did put those cards back in the incorrect order, though. The Destiny draw should have gone first before he started forfeiting him and forfeited the gun. Mike French is going to move Vader over to a Noet, which is a drain 2 system. It's actually the only system he can drain for 2 at that's not currently occupied by Michael Erisman. Just over 15 minutes left in the round. And Michael Erisman's going to pay it and do some force draining here. Try and get Mike French down some more cards. And now he's going to move Luke and that ship from Endor over to a Note. And he's going to play on target for like the 4th time in this game to keep Vader from moving away. That's going to be problematic because Vader's probably going to get shot and then lost, and then problematic for Mike French. I'm not sure what else he'll be able to do if Vader gets shot and loses that ship. That will probably be game. He'll be getting out force drained. His 1 drain on the ground won't do much because it'll be offset by Luke's retrieval, and he won't have any TTO damage, which he currently hasn't going because of honor. So Honor of the Jedi seems to be winning the game for Michael Erisman. He'd had 1 more EPP Maul, though, so he's going to get a 3rd crack at this. Getting back to a 3rd, getting back to that 3rd system, but he's got a bunch of red cards in his hand, but I don't know that they're going to be enough. He's got a Dark Time to subtract from a Weapon Destiny. pass the turn back to Michael Erisman. Erisman's going to get at least one Force Drain through at Kiffix, and then he'll retrieve one with Luke. Just continuing the trend of treading water. He put Walkling out of play to retrieve one. And now he'll pay one to retrieve one with Luke. And then he'll spend 3 and drain with the Falcon for 2. And starting to get down to slim pickings there for Mike French. I'll drop a Spiral now on that Vader that was unable to move, but it will get barriered. He'll grab the barrier, taking one more card away from Mike French. And he'll take a shot at Vader. That's a 1. That's not going to do it. And a 4 for Battle Destiny. Not going to crack Vader's immunity. That quad and Luke is just 8 power, 12, possibly minus. He's going to subtract 1 and subtract 2 with the Vader, so he's only at a 9.
How's it going out in the weirdo hallway?
It's a good time.
It looks so sad.
Nah. Not sure what happened. Oh, on target. Vader couldn't draw Destiny. But it looks like he didn't get any overflow, really.
There should have been 4 force loss.
Looks like he lost a couple of cards, which we can't see.
Yeah, it was like 10 to 5. It was on target.
On target, but he subtracted with a Dark Time and.
Yeah.
What kind of donut did you get?
I'm not sure. It looks like it has something in it.
I was gonna say it looks like it'd be a glazed donut, but is it a cream-filled glaze?
I'm not actually sure. It's a mystery filled donut.
It's a mystery donut.
So we're gonna find out
I wouldn't eat a mystery
right now
donut.
after these messages. They're supposed to fill with the messages. Oh, it's red.
So jelly?
Either that or it's a blood donut.
Blood orange. That's a new favorite.
We're gonna go with jelly.
Raspberry? Yeah.
Right. Good call.
Yeah.
Good job, donut. If you're gonna have a jelly donut, it probably should be a raspberry jelly donut. It works the best.
And we're back to Erisman's turn, and he's just paying a drain, pay 1, retrieve 1. And this is going to be like clockwork from here on out. And just trying to find ways to shoot down ships. There's on target for the 5th time. Oh, he's finally got a sense. Would you look at that?
Yeah, there
He
you go.
finally sensed the card. I'm sure Mike French is very much relieved that it finally pays off, and that might be enough to hang on for a little while longer. Erisman's going to pull a shield, and we're going to see the do or do not shield, I'm sure, to get rid of that card. He'll play a 5 to look through his deck, and it's a handful of interrupts, mostly 4s. But there's a control tunnel vision there, which is a 1, and an Anakin for a 1. And French is going to cut. That's right, kids, if you're watching at home. Cut your opponent's deck after they shuffle.
Just make it a habit and do it every time, and then nobody has to feel bad.
Or at least make sure they cut. Don't just let them put a card on top, but you should definitely cut yourself. Draw some battle weapon destinies. Looks like he got subtracted, so he missed. He's going to draw a 5 to a 1. So again, not going to take any overflow really in this battle. Maybe a card.
Did he just draw through an on target?
No, the on target got sensed.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So Vader got to actually draw destiny this turn.
Oh, he killed Ray.
Yep.
That's a moral victory for you.
And he'll just move. He's gonna move this. Pay 2, move the spiral over there to Endor. And he's gonna move. He's gonna flip those ships and move everybody around. So we've got. But the Death Star still at Kessel if his hypers.
The hyper navigation chart implies that yes, it is. Though I hope those gentlemen realize that and don't do T2 damage anyway. That would be impressive.
And since that's really the only damage Mike French is doing right now,
Hey, it's drain for 2.
he will get a drain this turn at Narshada, so at least that'll come into play.
For
But
3
the,
damage.
the drain at the docking bay just keeps getting offset by Luke retrieving the card. So in order to start pulling ahead, he needs to do more damage. And if he's not doing anything from TTO, even though he finally has 3 battlegrounds.
Yeah. And Mike does not have a lot of cards left at this point.
No. There's a drain for 2 and drain for 1. And it looks
I'm
like he
pretty
did.
sure he just lost to TTO.
He did do TTO damage. So either the Hyperscape chart is wrong, or he's just not keeping up with it. And they're
They both just had a long day of Star Wars.
yeah, I'm sure they're probably not just moving the chart around. So I'm guessing the Death Star is probably going.
Maybe it's EPP Black 2 with DS6 2 and 2.
Yeah, something tells me that wherever Vader is, or wherever Maul is probably where that TTO is. But it's certainly a possibility that they just misplayed that. We'll have to get some confirmation maybe after the game, do a quick interview, and just confirm
Sounds good.
where that was. Erisman's just going to shift all his guys around. And
Like Mike has conceded.
Mike's conceded and thrown in the towel. There's probably not too much left that he can do at this point.
I can't imagine there is.
So looks like we're going to wrap that up. We'll get confirmation where that TTO was just for poops and giggles. But
Oops and giggles.
oh yeah,
And we'll be right
Oh,
back.
yeah, I see. 3 and 5-year-olds, so anything in giggles, you never know what's happening. like unless there is a crap ton of like one-sided dominance game 7 and you get epic pair downs, you should have these 2 5 players.
Ideally, it was a good one. We were gonna play each other.
Did you guys have to play?
Yeah, that's true. We can't play each other. I can play Mike. I can play. You can play Mike.
That's so cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we can play.
Have you played my game?
I'm playing.
What is right? This morning I said I played the decks I should have played last year. Today I should have played last year's decks. Like I think if I just played straight up card for card for profit in the TPO from last year, I would have had some easy results. If I had do or do not last year, that would have been really interesting. Because like I have counters for I know, it was like it was pretty ridiculous.
Do something cool. There you go.
Yeah, I lost my food. Screwed up the food. Yeah, I'm working on it now. It was kind of screwed up from the
Nothing else like Jeremy. I heard.
I'll take it.
How you doing? That could be one thing. Who are your 2 losses? Well, that's also true. Like I was saying, he's like actually cheating just like little things. This is the first time I've heard any other bad things about him. This is the first time.
Okay, so should I call back and like okay, I'll do that.
It's like literally like read your card before
Yeah.
you leave. Yeah.
I finally lost my 4th game, so I just dropped.
Back like
And that was great.
obviously you know what
No
it
pressure.
is.
I might play in the constellation tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. That's right. The other guys are all doing great, so that's fine.
Somehow no one has mentioned it. People, I don't know why is that a hush hush
Sounds good.
thing of like calling out people that cheat? Like to me that should be like Scarlet Letter. Let's shame these people. Yeah, well, but Aaron Nelson was there. There you go. But yeah, this is like, oh, he's like, I'm pretending to me. Yeah.
All right, so after Game 6, there are no undefeated players left. There are 5 people at 5-1 and a couple of 4-2s. I think there's 3 4-2s right now. So if they stop the tournament after 6 games, it'd be a very clear-cut line. But that was not as advertised. We're playing 2 more games. A little breakdown with the tournament software, some glitches there, so we had to take a little extra time to manually repair some stuff. To finish that last game, commentary, Mike French did stop using his hyperspace navigation chart marker to indicate where his Death Star 2 was, so that TTO damage was legitimate. He was at the right system. They just forgot to tell us where it was. We're going to get set up here for Game 7 in just a minute. We're starting to do pairings now.